Now when we're looking to see how a small change in the situation leads to another change, and we're looking to try and figure out what happens generally speaking, not just in a certain case, algebra is really helpful. So I'm wondering, if I was to increase the radius of any circle at all, by 2 centimeters, with the circumference, which is the distance around the outside as opposed to the distance from the center to the edge, if this radius got bigger by 2 centimeters, would this circumference get bigger by 2 centimeters as well? Now if you choose to let a radius equal, let's say 10 or something, you're not finding out if what you discover works for all circles. It only works when the radius is 10. And we don't want to work out what happens to our radius when it's 10, 9, 8, 15, 26, 83.1. We want to be really clever and do one kind of calculation that looks at all of our situations. That's why algebra is so powerful. So I'm going to set up my 2 situations, and I'm going to use just one pronumeral, one letter. As soon as I go introducing more letters, it becomes more complex. So this is my original circle. And I'm going to say that the radius, don't choose a number, is r, because r is a variable. It can vary depending on any number that I need it to be. This circle over here will not have a radius of r. It's going to, we want to increase that radius r by 2 centimeters. So my new circle will be whatever r is, and it doesn't matter, plus 2 more. And that's the power of algebra. That little situation there covers any circle at all, no matter how big or small, with an increase of 2 centimeters. That's why it's so handy. Alright, let's find the circumference for each situation. I need to use a particular formula. The formula for the circumference of the circle, there's a couple. I'm going to use 2 pi r because I'm working with radius. Other people may use pi d. That's not incorrect, it just means you've got to convert your radius to a diameter, so I'm not going to do that. I'm also going to do the same calculation, 2 pi r, over here. Now my radius in this case is just plain old r, 2 by pi by r. But in this situation I've got 2 by pi by a bigger radius, r plus 2. So this is still my original situation and my new situation. My original situation I don't need to do anything with. There's nothing I can do there to make it simpler than what I've got. 2 by pi, that special number, 3.141592 and so on, and whatever r might be. Here I can certainly tidy up my work a bit. So I've got 2 pi, which is a number. Pi is just 3 and a bit more, so that's sort of 6 and a bit more, multiplied by r plus 2. And I'm going to use my distributive law to expand that. 2 pi times r is 2 pi r. 2 pi by 2, 2 by 2 pi. Addition's still there. You don't need to have this line, you can jump straight to the next one. I would have 2 pi r plus 4 pi. So now we say the old circumference was 2 pi r, and if I was to add 2 centimeters to the radius, the new circumference is still 2 pi r, that's the old one, and 4 pi. That's much, much bigger than what we said, which was, we were wondering, would it be 2 pi r plus an extra 2? We were wondering, would it also increase by 2 centimeters? So now we need to answer our question. When I add 2 to the radius of the circle, will the circumference also increase by 2? It does not. So no. The circumference does not increase by 2. Funny increase there. Increase by 2, but by 2 lots of 2 pi or 4 pi. So that's the general situation. The circumference will not increase by 2, it will increase by 2 lots of pi, which is in fact 4 pi. Pi's around 3.1415 and so on. So in fact, increasing the circumference, if you increase our radius by 2, the circumference actually increases by about 12, 4 by pi, which is a bit over 12. So it's much, much more than just an extra 2 centimetres there. It's actually around 12. So if you can add a picture or any kind of diagram or explanation, that's even better. The most important part is to set up your original and your new situations using the same pronumeral, complete the same calculation, circumference in this case, and then compare what you get with what you've been asked. Does that circumference increase by 2? Definitely does not.